Let me share with you something that comes not from books or fancy advice, but from a long life lived and many roads traveled. When we are young, the world seems like a playground, full of adventure and endless possibility. But as we age, especially after 70, the same world that once invited us so warmly can turn quietly dangerous in ways we never expected. I have learned, sometimes the hard way, that traveling after 70 carries hidden dangers that every senior must understand before planning that next trip. It's not about fear, but about wisdom. It's about knowing what can go wrong so you can decide if it is worth the risk. The first thing to realize is that our bodies change. When we were younger, a little exhaustion or discomfort was no problem. We could shake it off, keep moving, and bounce back quickly. After 70, this is no longer the case. Traveling means being out of your comfort zone. Long flights, crowded airports, rushing to catch trains or buses, or even just walking more than usual can drain you far more than you expect. The problem is that exhaustion in older adults doesn't just mean feeling tired. It can lead to serious health issues like heart problems, dehydration, or even falls. I remember a trip where I pushed myself too hard, convinced that I was still as strong as I once was. By the end, I was weak, dizzy, and far from any help. Exhaustion can sneak up silently and turn a joyful adventure into a frightening ordeal. Now, the second hidden danger comes with the medical side of things. When you travel after 70, you might be carrying medications for various conditions. Changes in climate, diet, or routine can affect how your body reacts to these medicines. Sometimes the medication you take daily might not work as expected when you are in a different place or time zone. And what happens if you get sick in a foreign country? Not every place has easy access to the healthcare or medicine you need. I know seniors who found themselves stuck in hospitals far from home, facing language barriers and uncertain care. This is not something to scare you, but to prepare you. Traveling means planning not just for fun, but for your health. Carry your prescriptions, know your medical needs, and have a backup plan because you might not always find help nearby. The third danger is less obvious, but no less real. It is the risk of accidents and injuries. When you are young, falling or bumping into things is often a minor inconvenience. Later in life, even a small fall can mean broken bones or long hospital stays. I have seen friends and relatives who traveled excitedly only to suffer falls that changed everything. Uneven sidewalks, slippery floors, or unfamiliar environments can become traps. And it's not just about physical injury. An accident in a strange place can leave you confused, scared, and far from the support you need. Your body doesn't heal as quickly, and a minor injury can turn serious. Traveling requires vigilance, and sometimes that vigilance can take away from the joy of the journey. Fourth, there is the emotional weight of loneliness and isolation. Traveling can be wonderful, but it can also be lonely, especially when you leave behind the familiar faces of family and friends. After 70, many of us face changes in our social circles. Some friends may no longer be around, and family might be far away. Being in a new place without someone you trust nearby can bring feelings of sadness or anxiety. When you combine this with the physical stress of travel, it can be overwhelming. I have felt it myself, arriving in a bustling city surrounded by strangers, missing the comfort of my own home and the voices I know. The excitement can quickly give way to loneliness, which is a quiet danger that few talk about. The fifth and final hidden danger is the unpredictability of emergencies. No matter how well you plan, life can throw surprises your way. Weather changes, natural disasters, or political unrest can make a safe trip suddenly dangerous. When you are younger, you might take these risks with confidence. After 70, emergencies can be more difficult to handle. Your strength, energy, and ability to adapt are not what they once were. I remember hearing stories of seniors caught in unexpected storms or needing to evacuate quickly. The stress and physical demand in those moments can be too much. Emergency plans are not just for the young. They are essential when traveling later in life. But even then, it is wise to consider if the risk is worth it. All these dangers add up. Traveling after 70 is not simply about booking a flight and packing a bag. It is about understanding your body, your mind, and the unpredictable nature of the world. It is about being honest with yourself about what you can handle and what might put you in harm's way. I am not saying do not travel at all. I am saying be cautious, be prepared, and maybe think twice before jumping into big adventures. The joy of seeing new places is real, but so are the hidden dangers that can turn that joy into regret. If you must travel, do so wisely. Choose places that are easy to navigate. Avoid long journeys that exhaust you. Make sure your medical needs are met and you have support nearby. Travel with someone you trust if you can. And always keep in mind that your well-being is more important than ticking off destinations on a map. Your life is precious, and no trip is worth risking that. I have learned these lessons from my own experiences and the stories of others. It's not about giving up on life or adventure. It's about respecting the changes that come with age and making choices that honor your health and happiness. The world is full of wonders, but the greatest wisdom is knowing when to stay safe and when to explore. After 70, it might be wise to slow down, to savor the comfort of home, and to find adventure in small moments close to those you love. Because the greatest journeys are not always the ones that take you far, but the ones that keep you safe and whole. So before your next trip, think carefully about these hidden dangers. Don't let the excitement blind you to the risks. Listen to your body, listen to your heart, and make a choice that keeps you strong for many more years to come. Traveling after 70 is a decision that needs thought and care, not just impulse and enthusiasm. Be wise, be cautious, and remember, the best adventures are those that leave you with good health and good memories. Now let's clear some common questions. How can traveling with a trusted companion reduce the hidden dangers that seniors face on the road? Let me tell you something I've come to understand deeply over the years, especially as I've watched friends and family grow older and still want to see the world. Traveling after 70 is a different kind of adventure. It's not the same carefree journey it was when we were young and full of energy. There are hidden dangers, as I have learned the hard way, and those dangers can make a trip stressful or even dangerous. But here's the truth I want to share with you. Traveling with a trusted companion can change everything. It can reduce those hidden dangers in ways you might not expect, and it can turn a risky journey into one filled with joy and security. I've traveled many times in my life, both alone and with others. When I was younger, I thought I could do it all by myself. Independence was everything. But after 70, that same independence can become a burden if you don't have someone by your side who understands you and your needs. When you travel with a trusted companion, it's like having an extra pair of eyes and hands. Someone who can watch out for your health, your safety, and your comfort when your own energy is running low. I remember a trip where I underestimated how tiring a long day would be. I tried to keep up with the pace, but my body protested. My companion noticed my struggle and gently insisted we rest. Without that support, I might have pushed myself too far and ended up in serious trouble. One of the biggest hidden dangers for seniors traveling alone is exhaustion. It doesn't come with a loud warning. It creeps up quietly, making your legs weaker, your mind foggier, and your balance less steady. When you have a trusted companion, they can sense these signs before you do. They can help manage the pace, suggest breaks, remind you to drink water, and keep an eye on your energy levels. They can carry your bags, navigate unfamiliar places, and shield you from unnecessary stress. This support is not just physical, it's emotional too. Knowing that someone cares enough to look out for you makes a world of difference. Medication is another challenge that is often overlooked. After 70, many of us depend on daily medicines to keep our health stable. Traveling means changing routines, crossing time zones, eating different foods, and sometimes even dealing with unexpected illnesses. A trusted companion can help you manage your medications, remind you when to take them, and watch for side effects or changes in your condition. I've seen too many seniors struggle with these issues alone, sometimes missing doses or taking the wrong ones because of confusion or stress. Having someone to share this responsibility reduces the risk of a medical emergency and gives you peace of mind. Another hidden danger is the risk of accidents, especially falls. When you are in an unfamiliar place, the ground can be uneven, floors slippery, or stairs steeper than they look. Your body is not as quick to respond as it once was, and a fall can lead to serious injury. I have witnessed friends who traveled alone and suffered falls that changed their lives. When you have a trusted companion, they can help you navigate tricky spots, hold your hand when needed, and be there instantly if something does happen. The presence of someone you trust means faster help and less fear. It turns a potential disaster into a manageable situation, but it is not just the physical dangers that traveling alone brings after 70. The emotional weight of loneliness and anxiety can be just as heavy. Being far from home, surrounded by strangers, can create a feeling of isolation that chips away at your spirit. A trusted companion brings comfort and companionship. They offer laughter, conversation, and reassurance. I remember times on the road when I felt overwhelmed or unsure, and having someone beside me who understood my worries and could remind me of the joy in the moment made all the difference. Traveling with a companion means sharing experiences, not facing them alone. Emergency situations are another area where a trusted companion becomes invaluable. Life is unpredictable. A sudden storm, a missed connection, or a health scare can happen anywhere. When you are younger, you might face these moments with confidence and quick thinking. After 70, stress and physical limitations make emergencies harder to handle. A companion can act as an advocate, communicate with doctors or officials, and help you make decisions calmly. They can carry important documents, manage logistics, and provide comfort in moments of fear or uncertainty. Having someone who knows you well and can respond quickly is a safeguard against the unknown. Beyond the practical benefits, traveling with a trusted companion brings a sense of security that allows you to relax and enjoy the journey. When you know someone has your back, you are less likely to feel overwhelmed by the small problems that arise on the road. You can focus on the beauty around you, the new people you meet, and the stories you will bring home. The laughter and shared memories become part of the adventure itself. It reminds me that travel is not just about the places we go, but about the connections we make and the support we give and receive. It's important to choose your companion wisely. It should be someone who understands your health needs, respects your pace, and shares your interests. Someone you trust deeply and feel comfortable with. This relationship becomes a shield against many hidden dangers because it is built on knowledge and care. Traveling with the wrong person or someone who doesn't understand your limits can create stress and even add to the risks. But the right companion turns a trip into a partnership where both people look out for each other. In my experience, having a trusted companion also encourages seniors to be more cautious and thoughtful about their travel choices. You are less likely to push yourself too hard or ignore warning signs when someone else is there to gently remind you. You might choose safer accommodations, easier routes, or slower itineraries that make the journey more enjoyable and less risky. This shared decision-making is a blessing, helping you to balance adventure with safety. The joy of sharing travel experiences with a trusted companion cannot be overstated. The stories become richer, the moments more meaningful. You find strength in each other's company. I have found that the bond formed on the road with a companion can be one of the most precious parts of the trip. It is a comfort to know you are not alone, especially when facing the challenges that come with age. In the end, traveling after 70 is a personal choice. It is not about giving up on the world or closing the door on new experiences. It is about understanding your own needs and respecting the reality of your body and mind. A trusted companion is more than just a travel partner. They are a protector, a helper, a friend. They reduce hidden dangers by watching out for your health, guiding you safely through unfamiliar places, managing emergencies, and offering emotional support when the road gets tough. They make it possible to enjoy the beauty of travel with less fear and more confidence. So if you are thinking about your next trip, consider who will be by your side. Don't go it alone if you can help it. The world is vast and beautiful, but it is also unpredictable. A trusted companion turns what could be a risky adventure into a shared journey of joy and security. From my years of experience, I can tell you that this is one of the wisest choices a senior traveler can make. It is a decision that honors your life, your health, and your spirit. Traveling with a trusted companion is not just safer, it is better. And that is something worth holding on to as you plan your next step into the world. In what ways might slower travel or choosing nearby destinations provide safer alternatives for seniors? I want to talk about something that has become clearer to me as the years pass and the world keeps turning. When we are younger, travel often means rushing from one place to another, ticking off destinations like a race against time. But after 70, that kind of hurried journey can bring more harm than good. Slower travel and choosing nearby destinations are not signs of giving up or settling for less. On the contrary, they are wiser, safer ways to experience the joy of exploring without putting yourself at unnecessary risk. I've learned this through my own adventures and through watching others who have tried to keep pace with a younger self and paid the price. Let me share with you why slower travel and closer places might just be the best choices for seniors looking to keep their journeys joyful and safe. First, slower travel allows your body and mind to adjust to the rhythm of the journey. When you rush, you push yourself harder than your body wants. After 70, your energy isn't endless. Long days of moving quickly from one attraction to another can leave you exhausted, making you vulnerable to illness or injury. I remember a trip I took years ago where I tried to cram too many places into a short time. By the middle of the week, my legs ached, my breathing was shallow, and I was just worn out. I realized then that the joy I sought was slipping away under the weight of exhaustion. Slowing down means fewer places per day, more time to rest, and a better chance to really absorb what you are seeing. It allows you to listen to your body and take care of it. Choosing nearby destinations is another way to reduce hidden dangers. When you travel far from home, you face unfamiliar environments, language barriers, and different healthcare systems. These challenges add layers of complexity to your trip. When you stick to places closer to where you live, you benefit from being in a familiar culture or one that is easier to navigate. You are less likely to encounter surprises that could stress you out or jeopardize your health. I have found that staying closer to home lets me enjoy the adventure without the added worry of medical emergencies or communication problems. If something goes wrong, help is easier to find, and the comfort of home is never too far away. Slower travel and nearby trips also give you time to build meaningful connections. When you rush, you might only see the surface of a place, but when you stay longer and travel less far, you have the chance to meet locals, make friends, and learn the deeper stories that give a place its heart. These connections can bring a sense of safety and belonging, which is especially important for seniors who may feel vulnerable in strange environments. I have spent weeks in small towns not far from home and found a warmth that made me feel protected and welcome. That feeling is worth more than a quick snapshot of a famous landmark. Safety is another reason slower and nearby travel is wise. When you take your time, you avoid the stress of rushing through airports, catching tight connections, or navigating complex transport systems that can be physically demanding. Airports and busy train stations are often hectic and tiring, which increases the chance of falls or accidents. I have seen seniors struggle with heavy luggage, long lines, and confusing signs when they try to move too quickly. Slower travel means you can use more comfortable and manageable means of transportation, like driving yourself or taking shorter, simpler trips. This reduces the risk of injury and lets you travel with dignity and peace of mind. Slower travel also means you can better adapt to your own health needs. After 70, you might have medications to take at certain times or need regular meals and rest. When you rush, it's easy to lose track of these essentials. Nearby destinations allow you to maintain routines that support your health. You can bring familiar foods, keep your medication schedule, and have access to doctors or pharmacies you trust. I have learned that planning trips where I can maintain these routines has spared me many problems and made my travel more enjoyable. It also reduces the chance of emergencies that could turn a trip into a nightmare. Another benefit is the chance to savor each moment. When you travel slowly and close to home, you give yourself permission to enjoy small pleasures. A quiet morning walk in a nearby park, a leisurely lunch at a local cafe, or a long afternoon spent reading by a window with a view. These moments might seem simple, but they bring deep satisfaction. I have found that slower travel lets me experience the richness of life in a way that rushing never did. It allows me to reconnect with myself and the world around me. I also want to say something about the emotional side of travel. When you move too fast or go too far, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. After 70, our hearts and minds carry more stories and sometimes more worries. Slower travel gives space to process those feelings, to rest emotionally as well as physically. It lets you enjoy the journey with a calm and open heart. I've seen friends who rush from place to place come back tired and unhappy, while those who took it slow returned refreshed and full of stories to share. That difference is something I have come to value deeply. Traveling nearby can also mean less financial stress, which is a practical concern. Longer trips and distant destinations often come with higher costs, more planning, and unexpected expenses. This can add pressure and anxiety, which no one needs when trying to enjoy their golden years. Slower travel close to home often means simpler plans and fewer surprises. You can avoid the stress that comes with complicated itineraries or expensive emergencies. This financial peace adds to the safety and comfort of the journey. I want to stress that choosing slower travel or nearby destinations does not mean giving up on adventure. Adventure is not about speed or distance. It is about curiosity, openness, and the willingness to experience something new. I have found wonderful adventures in places less than a few hours from home. I have met interesting people, tasted new foods, and learned things that changed how I see the world. These adventures were safe, manageable, and deeply satisfying. The secret is to respect your own limits and choose your trips with care. Finally, slower travel and nearby destinations help maintain independence longer. When you don't push yourself too hard or expose yourself to too many unknowns, you are more likely to stay healthy and active. This means more trips in the future, more memories to make, and more stories to tell. I have learned that preserving independence is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves as we age. It is better to travel well and safely than to push too hard and risk losing the ability to travel at all. So if you are thinking about your next trip, consider the value of slowing down and staying closer to home. Let your journey be one of pleasure, safety, and deep connection. Choose destinations where you can maintain your routines, enjoy the simple things, and avoid the hidden dangers of rushing or going too far. Remember that travel after 70 is a different kind of journey. It is one that calls for wisdom, patience, and respect for the changes that come with age. Slower travel and nearby places are not limits. They are doors to new kinds of adventure where safety and joy go hand in hand. I say this from the heart and from experience. Take your time, choose well, and let your travels be a source of happiness and health for many years to come. That, my friend, is the true meaning of a journey worth taking. Why is it sometimes wiser for seniors to find joy in local experiences rather than undertaking challenging travel adventures? Let me share a truth that has grown clearer with the passing of my years. When we are young, adventure calls us to faraway lands, strange cultures, and distant horizons. We dream of crossing oceans and climbing mountains. But as the years settle on our shoulders and our pace slows, there is a special wisdom in turning our eyes closer to home. It may seem less glamorous to find joy in local experiences than to chase challenging travel adventures. Yet I have come to understand that this choice often holds more peace, more meaning, and far greater safety for seniors. It is not a step back, but a step deeper into the richness that life offers. Let me tell you why. First, local experiences allow seniors to engage with the world around them without the heavy toll of travel stress. When I was younger, I would plan trips that took me far and wide, often pushing my limits to see as much as possible. After 70, I noticed that the very act of getting to these far places, the long flights, the jet lag, the unfamiliar food, became exhausting and sometimes even risky for my health. I recall a time when a challenging trip left me bedridden with exhaustion, missing out on the very adventure I had come to enjoy. When I began to shift my focus to nearby places, I found that I could explore without that weariness. Walking through a quiet town nearby, visiting a local museum, or attending a small community event gave me joy without the pain of travel stress. There is also a deeper connection that comes with staying local. When we rush to see famous landmarks in far-off places, we often skim the surface. But when we spend time in our own neighborhoods or regions, we discover stories and histories that are rich and real. I once spent a summer exploring my own county's old trails and historic buildings. I met neighbors who shared tales of days long gone and felt a part of a living story that was mine to carry forward. These experiences grounded me in a sense of belonging and continuity, something a distant trip rarely offers. For seniors especially, this rootedness is a balm to the soul. Safety is another important reason why finding joy locally can be wiser than seeking difficult adventures. Traveling far can mean unfamiliar healthcare systems, language barriers, and unpredictable environments. I know of many seniors who have faced medical emergencies while abroad, struggling to communicate or find proper care. At home or nearby, you know where to go if something goes wrong. You have trusted doctors, familiar pharmacies, and a support system close by. The peace of mind this brings cannot be overstated. It allows you to relax and enjoy instead of worrying about what might happen if you get sick or hurt. Local experiences often invite a slower, more mindful approach to life. When we chase after challenging adventures, the focus tends to be on ticking off lists or conquering obstacles. But in local settings, there is time to pause, to watch the seasons change, to listen to the birds, or to savor a cup of coffee on a quiet bench. I have found that this kind of presence nourishes the heart in ways that thrilling adventures sometimes do not. It opens us to the small miracles that surround us every day, but are often missed when we rush. For seniors, who carry a lifetime of memories and wisdom, this mindful presence is a gift. Joy found in local experiences is often shared with loved ones and community. When traveling far, seniors can feel isolated, especially if companions are younger or less patient. At home, there is a chance to invite friends and family to join you in simple pleasures. I have had many afternoons filled with laughter and warmth just by visiting a local farmer's market or attending a nearby concert with my grandchildren. These moments create bonds that strengthen us. They remind us that adventure does not always require distance or daring feats. It can be found in connection. Another factor to consider is cost. Challenging travel adventures often come with high expenses for flights, accommodation, and insurance. For many seniors, budgets are fixed, and stretching to cover such trips can create unnecessary stress. Local experiences tend to be more affordable and accessible. This financial ease lets you focus on enjoyment rather than worry. It also means you can have more frequent outings, creating a steady rhythm of joy rather than one big, exhausting event. Over time, these small adventures accumulate into a rich tapestry of memories. I also want to touch on the emotional benefits of local travel. Facing the unknown in faraway places can bring anxiety or feelings of vulnerability. After 70, emotional resilience may waver, and the unpredictability of challenging travel can weigh heavily on the spirit. Staying close to home offers a safe harbor where you can explore curiosity without fear. I have seen friends who once thrived on daring adventures become anxious or disappointed when things didn't go as planned abroad. When they shifted to local experiences, they found joy returned and their confidence grew. There is no shame in choosing what feels safe and nourishing. Furthermore, local experiences often offer opportunities for lifelong learning. Museums, workshops, nature walks, and cultural events are often right around the corner. These activities stimulate the mind and keep us engaged in a gentle but meaningful way. I remember taking a pottery class in my town and feeling a spark of creativity that reminded me of youth. Challenging travel can sometimes be so focused on logistics and endurance that it leaves little room for such personal growth. Local joys, in contrast, feed the mind and soul in balanced ways. One must not underestimate the value of routine and familiarity in senior years. Traveling far disrupts daily habits and routines that support health and well-being. Sleep schedules, medication timings, diet preferences, and comfort zones all get shaken up. This disruption can lead to exhaustion or illness. Local experiences allow seniors to maintain routines while still adding variety and excitement to life. I have found that this balance helps me stay strong and healthy longer. It makes every outing a boost rather than a drain. Lastly, I want to say something about gratitude. When we slow down and explore close to home, we learn to appreciate what is already ours. The beauty of a sunset over familiar hills, the laughter of children playing in a nearby park, the scent of fresh bread from the bakery down the street. These small gifts remind us that joy is not tied to distance or challenge. It is tied to presence and appreciation. I have grown more thankful with each local walk, more content with each neighborhood discovery. This gratitude fills the heart and enriches the soul beyond any exotic adventure. In the end, choosing local experiences over challenging travel is a wise embrace of our changing needs and strengths. It is a way to honor the years we have lived by living fully in the present. It is not about giving up on adventure, but about redefining it. Adventure after 70 is not measured by miles traveled or heights climbed, but by the depth of joy, connection, and peace found. From my experience, there is no greater adventure than discovering the richness that lies close to home and in the hearts of those around us. So if you are a senior thinking about your next journey, consider looking near. Seek the quiet beauty of local parks, the warmth of community events, the history in your own backyard. These experiences offer safety, comfort, and profound joy. They respect the wisdom of age and the gifts of time. They remind us that life's greatest treasures are often just a short walk away. And that, my friend, is a journey well worth taking. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel. So until next time, take care.